The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of cocaine-fueled nightmares. So get ready, nerds, because we're talking Stephen King's Silver Bullet. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us in this episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast. It's Stephen King week. We're talking Stephen King movies, the originals, not the remakes. I'm joined, as always, by my fantastic panel of nerds. Matt Vader's here. What's up, dude?
Hey, man. Jude, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is a Jude week.
This is a Jude week.
This is absolutely a Jude
This is
week.
part of August Bites.
Yes.
I don't know how Jude gets to pick every movie for every week that we watched here lately, but it feels like that's what we're doing.
It's August. August is her month.
Yeah.
It's a red month.
Yeah, it's very,
Ooh.
fuck you, Al.
I hope Al is enjoying an extra shade of red.
Oh,
today.
yes.
Oh, look at you.
She's got a red
You
shirt.
a red shirt and red hair, red lips, and red glasses. She's got 4 shades of red.
Nice.
I love it.
What's up, Jude?
Hello.
Are you excited for this week?
Yeah, I really am. These are some of my favorites.
Yeah, you said Carrie. Well, we're talking about...
Carrie is probably in my top 3 movies of all time that I like.
All right, cool. All right. Matthew Cadish is also here. Welcome, sir.
Yes. I made a confession to my lovely lady over here this week, which is
About
that,
your balls.
Yeah, it was about your balls.
in a way, the confession was that I really don't like Stephen King or his movies.
I was like, I don't know if I can marry you.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely, both, not a fan of Stephen King.
Okay.
Not my guy.
Me neither. Sorry.
I was pleasantly surprised with one Stephen King rules. Okay. All right, guys. So we're talking Silver Bullet, the werewolf movie from Stephen King. Stay tuned. We're going to break this movie down, have a great time talking about it. So if you're new here, please like and subscribe and stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to dive into it. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you guys want to support what we do here and play an awesome mobile game, head over to saltynerd.com/DC and download Dragon Champions on your app of choice, whether it's Android or iPhone. Head over there, download the game, and type in Salty in the promo code area and get yourself a little bit of a leg up. We've got 2 Masterclass Dragon Champions here in studio with us. Mr. Vader here has reached level 80.
Listen, don't ever call me Masterclass.
Well, dude.
Because I'm just like,
You're level 80.
I'm grinding. I'm a grinder. I do it. You eventually hit the 80.
Do your dailies, right? That's the key?
Do your dailies.
Yeah.
Yeah, do them all.
Right on.
Every day.
Vader's also single-handedly killing the raid for...
I only did the last boss. Somebody did the other 3 before me.
So
yeah.
join up. If you guys reach level 20, which isn't very difficult, you guys can join up to our Salty Nerd Podcast Guild, which is ran by one of our patrons, JT. And we go on raids and do a lot of fun things and kind of communicate with each other. We actually have a dedicated Dragon Champions server in our Discord app. So head over there to Discord and you can jump in there. You can get some advice from some of these guys who've been playing for a while on how to upgrade your characters and what characters to use correctly and stuff like that. So join up. It's a great game. The developers really support our podcast. We want to return the favor.
It is pretty fun.
One last announcement before we get into this movie. Wanted to let everybody know across the board that these videos are now available on Spotify. So our audio podcast has always been on Spotify, but now they have opened up video. So it's not just Joe Rogan. Now you can watch the Salty Nerd Podcast on Spotify, video and audio. So check it out.
Just those 2, though.
Just those 2. Nobody else matters.
Joe Rogan and Salty Nerds.
That's it. We're the only people. That's all. That's all you need to know. So head over to Spotify. If that's your app for listening to music and other podcasts, you can catch us there now, and you can actually watch us on video. So you don't only have to use YouTube. You have another choice.
You know, I think that's really cool.
I think it's really cool, too. I'm very excited about it.
Being able to like see my ugly ass face on different applications that all these people use is really weird.
It's cool.
So yeah.
I dig it. All right, Jude.
Yes.
Silver Bullet. Take it away.
All right. 1985 Silver Bullet, rated R with a runtime of 1 hour 35 minutes. This had a budget of $7 million. What do you think this brought into the box
That's
office?
it?
Yep.
Was that how much wild turkey did they have to buy Gary Busey for $7 million?
They got him drunk on one, and then they just kept putting water into it and telling him, no, it's still wild turkey.
And it just stuck. He just continued to act like that forever.
Yeah.
$7 million budget. I'm going to say it probably brought in $11 million.
All right, Vader.
I'm just gonna completely make a guess. This is 84, right?
85.
85. So I was a freshman in high school. I remember this freshman in high school. I'm old, right?
Old.
You're young.
Yeah.
You're a child.
Graduated in 07.
$20 million. I don't remember this being a huge thing, but
Okay. That's more than double.
Somewhere between 18 and 20.
Okay. Alex was closest. This made $12 million at the box office.
So it made a little money.
Yeah, well, you got to remember in the 1980s, like anything over 20 million was like huge. It was like a huge hit because movies.
That was ET stuff.
Yeah. Like movies back then, like didn't break like 50 million.
Well,
it's like I remember
fucking movie ticket in the 80s was like $5.
Yeah, well, I remember back then.
Not even.
Yeah.
This Kevin Costner movie with Waterworld came out.
That was in the
90s.
But people, what I mean is people were losing their freaking minds.
That bombed.
Because that movie cost like $80 million.
Yeah.
Which is
I think
nothing
it was
compared to that.
100 million actually.
Yeah,
It might have been.
I think you're right.
But people, it was like international news. This weird ass water movie's making so yeah, I get.
Also, it's terrible.
Yeah, it was so yeah. Well, how much was this?
7. It cost 7. It made 12.
That's really high for this movie.
Think so?
Because where did that money go?
To the werewolf costume.
It was the worst werewolf costume ever.
Yes, it
Two
was.
sick ass wheelchairs.
How did this movie cost that much money to make? I really want to.
Is there any big names in it besides Gary Busey?
Corey Haim.
This
Yeah,
was
but he
actually
was
his first
5.
movie.
Gary
Yeah.
I
Busey?
thought Lucas was his first movie.
Well, I think this might have been his first starring role.
I think this
in
was
a
his
movie.
first starring.
I think
role,
this is Corey Haim's second best movie.
Fuck is Corey Haim?
He was
The
he
kid.
was the kid in the wheelchair.
The wheelchair. He was one of the. This is his second best movie after Lost
He
Boys.
was Corey Feldman's best best friend.
One of the Coreys.
Oh, that makes. Oh, now I know why I don't like this movie. Okay. Just unlocked it.
We need to
It's
have
one of the Frog
one of
Brothers.
the Frog Brothers. Come on, man.
Let me roll my eyes a little harder. Jude, what's the synopsis?
All right, sir. Corey Haim is convinced a werewolf is responsible for a string of grisly murders in his small town, but no one listens to the kid in the wheelchair, not even his drunkle, Gary Busey, until they find themselves trapped by the town preacher who explains, I only eat the bad people. And you, because you found out I'm a werewolf, but otherwise mostly just bad people. Discuss.
That's it?
That's it. That was it.
Okay. Do not like this movie.
You're crazy!
This movie is terrible.
You're crazy,
Dude,
man. You're crazy.
The like opening
I like you, but you're crazy.
the opening to this freaking movie, I'm watching this and I'm like immediately there's freaking kids in this movie. So it's like 5 points deducted instantly.
Yeah.
As soon as I realized that the kid was going to be the main character, I was like, I'm fucking done. Like, no, thank you.
Well, at
Not
least-
only is he a kid, he's a cripple.
He's a kid in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I was watching this, and this freaking kid's got this wheelchair, and his uncle, drunk Gary Busey, made him this freaking motorized wheel. He put like a lawnmower engine on the back of this thing, and he's got handlebars like a bike
So-
with a freaking
Did you-
throttle
real
and
quick,
everything.
Did you like Silver Bullet 1 or Silver Bullet 2 the best? Because I thought Silver Bullet 2 was just a motorcycle with, some shit painted on it.
Yeah.
Silver Bullet 1 had some
Who
style.
is letting the drunk uncle just tinker around with power tools in
I know,
the
right?
garage without checking on him?
Well, it was also the 80s. Like, you didn't have to wear a helmet on a motorcycle
you
back
didn't.
then.
No, people didn't give a shit about that stuff back then.
Yeah, no.
It's like, how did we survive? Oh my God.
Well, some
You-
people
you-
didn't. We just don't hear about
Most
them
of
anymore.
us
Like,
of us
hey,
did.
do me a favor and don't kill yourself or they'll blame me.
Yeah.
Where's my wild turkey?
And then he just goes speeding off and does a fucking wheelie.
Oh.
I couldn't, man. I couldn't take this movie seriously. Like, I was really trying to okay, where's the werewolf going to be? What's it going to look like? This is a Stephen King movie. It's got to be creepy. And this is one of the worst werewolf
The
costumes
whole
ever.
movie, Kadish was like, it's the kid, right? It's Corey Haim. He's the werewolf, right?
You thought the kid was the werewolf?
I suspected it at first,
Really?
What?
a little bit.
Have you not seen this?
No, this was my first watch for
Oh
me.
my
yeah.
God.
But I was trying to guess who the werewolf was, and I got it on my third try.
It was actually really fun getting through a movie, at least most of the way, without Kadish ruining it.
Listen,
he
man.
didn't know what was going on. Yeah.
I'm such a weird, religious weirdo.
Oh, dude,
that-
Stephen King's got so much hate
It's
for.
like I immediately go, oh, the preacher's a bad guy.
Yeah. Well,
Fuck that guy.
with Stephen King, that's Stephen King's thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
he
yeah.
always makes the freaking hyper religious people the bad people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so immediately, because I watched this movie last. So this week I watched not Carrie, but what was the other one? Firestarter. Firestarter, Carrie, and then this movie. And by that point, I was like, oh, this is the freaking religious guy. He's the bad guy, 100%. So
He was just weird though, right?
yeah, super weird.
like,
but they're all hyper crazy, weird religious people. That freaks me out because it stresses me out.
And the preacher's played by Fred Ward, who was in Twin Peaks, and so like the entire time I'm just like, oh, that's the guy from Twin Peaks.
Okay, so
Fred Ward.
I do have this question. Where was this movie supposed to be set at?
It's got to be Maine or something.
It's always in Maine.
Was it in the
It's
South?
always in Maine.
No, it's Maine.
Wasn't in the South? Because I feel like all the townspeople were from like Georgia or Kentucky.
No.
They were Hicks, but they weren't Southern
All of his
Hicks.
stories are set in Maine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everett McGill plays the...
Everett McGill, that's right. Everett McGill. And Terry O'Quinn was in this as the sheriff as well.
That's right. Yeah, dude, has that guy ever had hair?
No.
That's what Kanish said.
I said the exact same thing. I was like, he's always been bald.
It's like freaking Back to the Future with what's his name?
What else was he?
Skinner.
I know it. What else was he in?
He was in Lost.
He's
sheriff?
Locke from Lost.
Locke.
And X-Files.
Yeah.
Who was he in X-Files?
He was one of the FBI guys in the first X-Files movie. He's the guy who dies at the beginning.
Okay, because I was getting a really big Voyager Doctor vibe from him. I know it wasn't him, but I was getting a vibe of that.
Oh, no,
Robert Picardo was in The Howling, not this one.
Yeah. Robert Picardo. That would have been nuts if he was the sheriff.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know what it is about Stephen King, but he writes the most asshole-ish people ever.
Yeah, his stories are very there's like a formula for them.
Yeah.
There's the bully.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually religion. And they're always in Maine.
Yeah, there's always some type of racist.
There's usually a kid.
Yeah.
I do think it's important that we acknowledge that this movie wasn't based off of a book, but a short story, right? It's one of his Bachman books, right?
It said it in the opening credits.
Yeah.
So there's a funny story behind this. So it was based off of a novella called The Cycle of the Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
But it started off, so the way that this movie came about is that Dino De Laurentiis, who had he was like a Stephen King super fan apparently, he spent $1 million to option this idea of a Stephen King werewolf story. And Stephen King hadn't written anything. And so like what he did was he took a calendar and just wrote on the calendar, like, werewolf attacks this person. And that was what the story started off as. And so when they started developing this movie, the original director was Don Coscarelli, who is behind the Phantasm movies. He was Beastmaster, the director of Beastmaster, and of course one of my favorite movies of all time, Bubba Hotep. Yeah. And so he was originally attached to direct this, and when he came on board to develop the script, he had lunch with Stephen King, and he's like, "This is just a calendar," and Stephen King's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What am I supposed to do with this?"
And Stephen King was like, "Do you have any more Coke?"
Yeah. So Stephen King took that calendar and he went and he wrote this novella called Cycle of the Wolf. And it's basically each chapter is a month out of the year. And it is a collection of like news clippings or stories or news stories, stuff like that, firsthand accounts of different werewolf attacks. And throughout the course of the book, it's kind of revealed that the preacher is the werewolf, and the kid in the movie actually only appears in like 3 chapters of the short story.
Really?
But by this point, by the time he had finished this novella, Don Coscarelli had kind of like said like, I don't want to do this movie anymore. And so they brought in this other director who basically this is his only feature film. Like he's gone on to do like a lot of different like TV shows and stuff like that. But he came on board and basically developed a script based off of this novella. And so like it was kind of like one of those things where it was being written at the same time as the movie. And so like there are a lot of differences between the movie and the novella.
So I thought it was really weird that they had the voiceover, the narrator of this story was actually the older sister, but she didn't have a whole lot to do with the movie. It's all about the kid in the wheelchair and his drunk uncle. And I was like listening and watching this movie, and I'm like, why is she the narrator? Why is this through her point of view when the movie doesn't actually take place from her point of view?
Because she's watching all of this happen.
But also, I think it's because, like, from a narrative perspective, if it was Corey Haim who was narrating it as an adult, you'd know that he survived.
Yeah.
And like they wanted to keep that tension as like, will the werewolf kill this kid?
They should have killed the kid.
See,
they should have. Listen, man, I'm being completely honest with you. To make this movie better, the priest should have killed the kid.
That kid's really fast.
So I want to point out, and I had to ask our chat to look this up for me because I hadn't forgotten. So the Bachman books, right? This is Stephen King's pen name. Okay, was that pen name? Is that right? Bachman, Richard Bachman. He wrote. He put out a collection of stories that he wrote, including The Running Man.
What?
The Running Man come from the Bachman books, and I think it's like the same pen name that he wrote under this thing, right?
I think you're right. Yeah.
The Running Man. The
Running Man is a Stephen King movie.
We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't remember.
I mean, the movie's very different from the book.
I think that's fascinating, though.
Yeah.
That they're taking short stories that Stephen King has written and made movies out of them. So anyway, it's just a quick.
I actually don't think he wrote this under the Bachman pen name because the movie itself is like Stephen King's Silver Bullet.
Okay,
maybe Dino De Laurentiis wasn't going to pay $1 million to be like, oh, this isn't a Stephen King film.
Well, yeah, they're definitely going to slap Stephen King's name on there for sure.
I mean, if they took one of your books that you wrote under a pen name, would you not put your real name on it?
Well, it depends how much they're paying me.
Depends on if it's good or not.
Because there are Matthew Kadish books out there that don't say Matthew Kadish.
This is true.
But
genuinely, I do think the movie would have been better if the priest, once the kid figured out who he was, if the priest actually killed the kid during that chase scene that they had in this ridiculous freaking silver bullet truck thing.
Why is that ridiculous?
It's so stupid.
Dude, every kid that lived in the country like that had a go-kart like that.
I had a
go-kart.
I had a go-kart and dirt bikes and shit.
I drove that thing in town. When I wasn't supposed to.
Whatever. Anyway, what I'm saying is I think the movie would have been better if it was like, you could still have the narrator be the sister, but I think it would have been more interesting if he actually succeeded in killing the kid and then Gary Busey had to redeem himself, because everybody would have blamed him for the kid dying on the bridge. Like, oh, you built him this freaking motorcycle. It's your fault, you drunk idiot. And he's like, no, I swear to God, it's this fucking other guy.
There's a werewolf.
There's a werewolf. Like, it would have been so much more fun to watch Gary Busey
straight to the insane asylum.
Try to convince the town that it wasn't him that killed this little kid. It was actually this werewolf that ran him off.
Yeah, it's definitely something they were setting up, right?
I feel like they should have went that direction.
They should have gone that way.
I don't like the kid. He's annoying, and the fact that he got away with the stuff that he got away with, I was like, this is not realistic.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset with myself that I thought this was a Bachman book, but it's not a Bachman book.
So that whole thing that you just said was bullshit?
But he did write The Running Man under Bachman. So yeah, that's cool. One of my favorite movies ever.
Noted.
In fact, in our review of The Running Man, we actually talk about that in detail.
That was audio. We need to
it was a long time ago.
We got to do some re-reviews soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Re-reviews?
Retro re-review?
Retro?
Yeah.
When is the next retro re-review?
November.
Ooh, can't wait.
But
I already have my picks set up.
Is this not the worst werewolf
It's
ever?
terrible. It's so bad. Like the only scene that I thought was somewhat redeeming, given the age of the movie, was 1985, is the scene where the werewolf climbs up the window and kills the lady that was upset. Oh, that's the other thing that Stephen King does in all his movies. There's always a douchebag who bails on a pregnant chick.
Oh, every time.
Every fucking time.
Yeah.
That irritated the shit out of me.
Do you guys remember that there's a South Park episode.
Oh God.
Where
here we go.
Where the boys, the Butters gets hurt, right? And they need to take him to a doctor, but
they make him into a dog.
They make him into a dog. They put pubes and shit on his face.
He's crying. He's like,
why is this relevant?
That's what I thought. This werewolf is so fucking bad. I just saw a dude.
That's what you thought.
I just saw a dude with a rubber pube face. That's all I saw. Just rubber, so we're just going to cut some hairs off the dog's ass and glue them to his face. And it wasn't good, man. It's like...
Stephen King probably snorted half of those hairs they shaved off.
Yeah, man. It was just
he was like, I'm thinking werewolf.
It's like the
worst write this book.
This is literally
this cripple kid's gonna kill a werewolf.
It's like, this movie is so fucking weird because I want to like this movie.
I know.
I do. I really want to like this movie because I like werewolf movies.
Yeah.
I thought Corey Haim was kind of okay in it.
I hated him.
Gary Busey was,
hilarious.
He was great.
He's too funny to be in a serious movie.
He was the crazy uncle. And he's like, Gary Busey is everybody's crazy uncle, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I wish my uncle was crazy, Gary Busey.
He's a grown man who's telling his crippled nephew, wake me up in the morning.
I'm gonna drink a bottle of wild turkey. And his bitch ass mom.
Mom's like, don't drink around him. He's like, quit telling me what to do.
I hated his mom. She's
so negative.
You need to be a better example.
She was wrong, though.
He's just going to grow up and want to kill himself because he's a cripple. And he's going to drink because he sees his favorite person drinking.
And she's like, so shitty to her daughter.
Oh yeah.
She's shitty in general because like her idea was
every parent in the 80s was shitty.
Like
that's
my son.
It's like, I don't want to take care of my son, daughter, so you're going to go do it.
Like,
it's like, no.
Oh, that was terrible too.
It's like, make her do all this stupid shit.
They were so mean.
Go wipe your son. Go wipe your brother's ass. He can't wipe his own ass. Go wipe, I know that was.
Oh, Gary Busey even says that. He's like, your son is more than just wiping his ass.
Exactly.
And putting him in bed and putting him in the chair.
Yeah. Like, I think he had a point. Like when he was talking to the mom.
The crazy drunk uncle is the smartest guy.
He's the smartest guy in the movie.
Absolutely.
Like
he has to drink.
He's crazy, but like when he's talking to his sister, I guess it's his sister.
Yeah, it's his sister.
And he's like, you're treating him like he has no future, but he does. You have to believe in him. Otherwise, he's not going to believe in himself. Like that was the message I got from Gary Busey's character.
He's going to be a wheelchair racer.
Like 100%. Put that kid in a friggin' motorbike and send him on his way.
And, and if she has her husband's a total simp.
Well, he's
just
barely in the movie.
Yeah, he's not even.
Do what your mother said.
Do what your mom said. Like I feel
you
like
better watch your
driving
mouth,
the car
young
to
lady.
church.
I feel like Stephen King had a horrible childhood.
I know. This is like a movie I would write.
Every one of Vader's stories is set in Oregon on a farm.
Yes, there's a crazy religious person. The parents are all assholes.
Every time you smell peppermint, some shit's about to happen. Some bad shit. There's an alligator that was like his pet, but then some weird sex stuff happened.
Yeah, now he's got kinks.
And then his dad killed the alligator. And now he spent his whole life trying to get back to his alligator.
I love my parents. Okay? I do. I love my parents. They made some weird choices when I was young.
Everybody's parents did.
I'm kind of past it, but man, I could write some fucked up movies from my 10 to 20 years.
Do a couple lines and sit down and start typing away. But
for sure.
No, I just like this movie just didn't hit it for me. I didn't like the direction they went. The costume kind of wasn't great.
I am of the opinion that every single werewolf costume in a werewolf movie just looks ridiculous.
Except in Wolf Cop.
I'm on board.
Wolf Cop looks
What's the
funny.
best
Wolf
werewolf?
Cop looks awesome.
What's the best werewolf?
Dog Soldiers.
I haven't
You
seen
guys
that.
really liked The Howling too.
The Howling was pretty good.
The Howling was like the original.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But Dog Soldiers, if you haven't seen that, that's a dope ass werewolf movie. And
What about the original werewolf?
Wolfman?
The old black and white Wolfman.
Oh.
That was just a dude with a hairy face.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the legend comes from.
No, that looked ridiculous too.
Yeah. I think Dog Soldiers was the best because it was like 7 feet tall, creepy as fuck looking. Like it obviously wasn't a human in a rubber suit.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was really cool. Really intimidating. We should watch Dog Soldiers.
We should.
The chat is going crazy right now.
Are they really?
What about the Twilight movies? Those had werewolves.
No,
in them.
shut. Those don't exist. They don't exist.
I've never watched. The Twilight movies.
The John Lithgow ones?
I've managed to avoid those so far.
So one of the funny things about this movie is that when they started filming, they didn't have a completed werewolf costume. So like they were kind of like trying to figure out.
I don't think they had it by the end either.
They were trying to figure out what the werewolf was going to look like as they were filming. And they didn't have the budget for like something on the level of like an American Werewolf in London or whatever. And when Dino De Laurentiis was watching the dailies for like the werewolf stuff, he was like, "What the fuck is this shit? This looks terrible." And so like he kept harping on like the werewolf costume, and the director Daniel Attias was like, "Well, Dino, like, give us more money." And he's like, "No, you make it work." And so like they hired a professional dancer to come in and try to kind of make the werewolf costume like seem better just through movement. And Dino De Laurentiis hated it so much that eventually Everett McGill had to be in the costume and just like walk around doing it because the professional dancer walked off the set because he was insulted by Dino De Laurentiis' critique of his movements.
Oh,
Is this is the movie with the fog, right?
yes.
yeah.
The waist
That
deep
was so
fog.
funny.
Dude.
Listen,
It's like if
I'm not going outside if it's foggy.
Right?
You
Listen,
don't trust the fog.
never-
There's nothing good in the
That
fog.
old man is sitting there. He's like, "I knew not to trust this fog."
if you go out of your house and the fog is
a
there,
thick layer,
and you can't see anything below your waist.
Fuck off.
Get back in.
Yeah.
Because
there's
it's
always
so
either
good.
werewolves or ghosts.
Yeah,
100%.
or zombies, anything.
Yeah.
Alligators, something's gonna eat your ass.
Alligators.
Yeah,
You probably into it.
The waist deep
might.
fog thing was actually a holdover from when Don Coscarelli was going to direct, because he wanted to have this scene where like you couldn't see the monster, where it was almost like a Jaws type thing, and he would come up from the fog and eat people. But did you guys notice that the bartender, the old guy with like the baseball bat, was played by Lawrence Tierney, who was the kind of main mob boss in Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't tip.
Well, yeah, he's also
he does tip.
He does tip.
he's also Lorraine's dad in Seinfeld.
Oh.
Remember that episode where
I
like
mean, Elaine.
Elaine.
What did I say?
Elaine, not Lorraine.
You said Lorraine.
Did I say Lorraine?
You said
Yeah.
Lorraine.
Oh, I was thinking Back to the Future. Sorry.
Come on.
Yeah, Elaine from Seinfeld. Her dad, when they show up and they go to get drinks or whatever and go out to dinner with them, that was the same guy. And I was like, oh, dude, I love that freaking bat he had though. Had fucking Peacemaker like carved in the side of it.
Made it look like a toothpick.
Yes, dude, that freaking guy, that bar owner, he's a badass.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen his death scene. Like, I want to watch that dude go toe to toe with this freaking goofy ass werewolf. Like, that would have been cool.
Well, he died in the fog, didn't he?
Just took him out at the knees.
Yeah.
Oh, is that when he died?
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
missed it.
and that's how the werewolf ended up with the
With the
baseball bat.
peacemaker, he's just sitting there jerking. yeah, fucking this movie's
Like
goofy.
I got some human in my teeth.
All right, we're gonna take a break before we wrap this up. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
What's the matter, Bobby? You're gonna make lemonade in your pants?
Welcome back, everybody. If you guys want to support what we do here and you like our content, head over to saltinairclub.com and sign up for the club memberships. It's only $5 a month to get in, and you guys get a huge backlog of content where we're talking classic sci-fi stuff like Doctor Who, Stargate Atlantis, Star Trek, the original series, and we're doing Farscape right now. We're having a ton of fun. It's a great place to be, and we love hanging out with our fellow club members. So head over to the saltinairclub.com website and jump into the $5 tier and join us. We'd really appreciate the support. Our goal right now is trying to get to 100 Patreon subscribers. We're about halfway there. So with your help, we can meet that goal. And we'd really love the support. And it helps us to make better and better content for you guys.
Yeah, and if we hit a certain goal, we'll make Vader watch the Twilight movies.
I don't know.
Hey man, listen,
like-
I want to quit my job. All right.
Like
So-
we got people threatening to leave because we were going to watch Twilight. They're like, if you fucking do that, we're leaving. So I don't know. We might break even on that one. How much is it going to cost to get you to watch Twilight?
I don't know. $1 million.
All right, let's polish up this.
So I want to talk about Gary Busey for a minute.
Please take it away.
The drunkle.
The drunkle.
The Drunkle, yeah. So basically, Gary Busey, when he came on board, there wasn't a finished script. They were kind of like Stephen King was on set, kind of like writing stuff as the movie went along, because he is credited with writing the screenplay for this movie. And the actor or the director of this movie, he kind of like wasn't getting the performance he wanted from Gary Busey. And Gary Busey was like, man, just let me do my thing. Just let me do my thing, man. And so the director went to Stephen King. He's like, hey, Stephen, is it cool if Gary just like ad libs all of his lines? And Stephen King was like, yeah, sure. and so like everything that Gary Busey says in this movie was ad libbed by Gary Busey.
I have to
Yeah,
say,
it works.
it
It's
works.
an original Gary Busey line.
Yeah, like
Every single time.
I
Every
didn't know
single
that.
time.
I saw that trivia when I was watching this because the little trivia thing pops up in the corner, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, I didn't.
It worked.
Listen, I didn't get a chance to like research any of these movies this
that's
week.
okay. You don't have to.
It was a crazy week, man. It was
been
a crazy week, but I got them all in.
But in addition to coming up with all of his own dialogue, Gary Busey also did all of his own stunts in this movie.
The stunts.
His stunts.
when he gets thrown up against the wall by the werewolf.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so
wow.
like there's a scene in this movie where he gets thrown into a mirror, right? And it's breakaway glass and stuff like that. But you can see in a certain shot, he's got like a shard of the mirror sticking out of his arm.
What?
No way.
I missed that.
And that was legit. Like he got stabbed in the arm by like a piece of
Oh,
broken
Jesus.
glass.
Oh man, where's the prop department on that one? It's supposed to be breakaway
Well, it was the 80s. So like safety standards weren't quite
or
up to
a
snuff.
bit loose. Yeah.
People weren't so soft in the 80s.
Sorry.
Okay?
God forbid, I don't want to cut my freaking arteries.
And the scene where like the werewolf reveals itself to Gary Busey and Gary Busey like freaks out, that was a legitimate thing where basically Gary Busey didn't know that they were going to reveal the werewolf there, and so the director pulled like an alien type thing where the werewolf shows up, and that's the first time Gary Busey saw it, and so that was his genuine reaction to seeing that awful werewolf.
His full-on O face. Oh,
Man, the werewolf was bad.
So bad.
It was so bad.
The only bit that I thought was like worked about the werewolf is when they like did the super zoom in on the face and the eyes were like red. I was like, okay, we're working with something here. But like the rest of it was terrible.
Can we talk about the chase scene?
Which chase scene? With the
preacher
wheelchair and the
wheelchair
thing on the bridge?
It's like, yeah.
And the eye stabby.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that bridge scene?
Let's do that first.
Okay, yeah, let's do the werewolf
The
scene.
eye stabby. It's like...
Which is how we discover who the villain is.
Yeah.
Because the villain has to have...
So the setup is
a fucked up eye.
the kid fucks off by himself and he's going to go set off some fireworks at the bridge or whatever.
His ccrazy Uncle Busey
Gave him some
gives him
fireworks.
some fireworks.
Sure.
After he builds him
Doesn't it
the
just
world's,
make you want a crazy Uncle Busey?
the world's coolest fucking wheelchair, right?
Right.
He even painted that shit up.
Oh, it's
my
got
God.
flames
He
on
made
it.
it fancy.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was like 50.
Listen, I understand why his mom is a little bit crazy because she's got her brother coming in and building fucking go-kart wheelchairs and giving her crippled son fucking
He's always got a
illegal
new
fireworks.
wife. He's got a new wife like every 6 months.
There was a weird scene in this movie where like he's asleep and his niece calls him up to tell him about their discovery.
Oh, yeah.
And there's this
Random chick?
in his bed. They don't introduce her. Like she's just like they've obviously like spent the night together. It's just kind of like, who was that?
Drunkle's got game. I don't know. Anyway,
He's very charming.
so the kid's on the bridge and he's setting off fireworks and the werewolf is like in the woods like, ooh, I can see you.
Sneaking through the woods. With the camera going through the leaves.
Oh yeah, you have to do the POV. You can't have the werewolf like in the background.
Every werewolf movie has a point of view.
Absolutely.
Through the
Absolutely.
werewolf's eyes.
Yeah.
You want to show the werewolf as little as possible.
Exactly.
Because it's terrible.
It is terrible. And then so the kid's on the bridge and he's setting off fireworks. And this is what kind of broke me because you guys know I don't like kids in this movie. And he's like sitting on, he's like, yeah, this is so cool. All by himself. It's the most depressing thing I've ever seen. Completely alone on a bridge setting off fireworks.
Just crying and celebrating fire.
Would you not have like
This is Vader's child, you fuck.
would you not have? No, I would have called my friends. Like,
so
dude,
depressed. He doesn't have any friends.
Listen, I would have said, bro, I got like fireworks.
His friend's dead. His best friend's murdered at this point.
That's right.
He doesn't have any.
He's dead, bro.
His only friend.
His only friend.
Wah, wah, wah.
Anyway, he set off fireworks and the wolf comes up to him on the bridge and he's gonna eat him. And then like the kid has enough wherewithal to be like, freaking pulls the right rocket, the rocket out, points at him, strikes a match, and goes, fucking shoots it off in the thing's eye. Like, what are the odds? And then he speeds away. I was just like, I can't.
It's so fun.
I'm done. Nope. This movie
movie's
sucks.
great.
It was kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was a bit weird.
It was like,
and then
okay.
And then in broad daylight out in public, the preacher man, after he finds out that the kids reveal who he is.
Well, but first, so like the kids find out that the preacher is the werewolf, and so they start sending him random letters telling him to kill himself.
Dude, the one letter they said, "I know who you are. I know what you are. Why don't you just kill yourself?" And I was like, "What the fuck?"
The 80s were fucked up.
and he was doing the thing where he like cuts out the magazine
it looks like a
words.
ransom
It's like
letter.
a ransom note.
Dude,
Listen,
it was so funny.
I did that all the time. I just
Say your teacher's ransom notes.
I just send random like
This quiz sucks.
We just send fucking
You're a
random.
terrible teacher. Why don't you kill yourself?
No, I just sent random magazine letters to our church pastor. It's like, why don't you go fuck yourself, you pedophile motherfucker.
You know what's fucked up, dude?
Yeah,
I don't know if you're fucking with me or not.
I know, right?
The mystery's solved. His ex-preacher is probably listening right now. Like, I knew it was him. That fucking kid.
It's like, you better not send us to indoctrination camp this summer, or I'll fuck you up. Yeah,
It was fun seeing the early incarnation of cyberbullying.
Oh my god,
screen.
dude! And then when Gary Busey finds out that his nephew's been sending like death threat letters to the preacher,
Okay, this is nuts.
he's like,
You
"All right,
need to-
guys,
You need to
guys,
shut this shit
you
down."
told the preacher to go gargle glass. Like, what the fuck?"
So good.
Oh shit!
And you know what's funny is so like Corey Haim, you know, like he was a young kid. He was the lead in this movie, and when Gary Busey was on set, he'd have his son Jake Busey with him, and so Jake Busey and Corey Haim became really good friends just through hanging out, and it was through his friendship with Corey Haim that Jake Busey decided he wanted to eventually become an actor as well, just like his dad. And Jake Busey even did an interview about like his time on set here, and about how sad it was that like, because when he knew Corey, he was a normal kid, and he's like, and that guy got messed up and eventually ended up ODing, I believe, when he was in his 30s.
He had a lot of demons.
Hollywood destroys kids.
He did? He died?
Yeah.
No, I did not know that.
Way to bring the mood down.
God, dude. Well, you know, Starship Troopers was a hell of a movie.
It was a hell of a movie.
Yeah, he was in that, so that's good.
Yeah. Sorry, let's go back to talk about Gargling Glass.
Yeah.
Wait, Corey Haim was in Starship Troopers?
No,
Jake Busey was.
Busey's kid.
Wait, what? I'm confused.
Gotcha.
Who doesn't?
The kid in this movie.
Yeah, Corey Haim, I know.
Right.
He's not here no more. But Jake Busey is?
Yes.
Yeah, he should be.
Okay, all right.
He looks just like his dad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly like him. It's weird.
We need to do a Point Break.
I believe he did
remake.
die in the movie, though.
The remake? That would fit.
With
We have a
JBC.
genre.
No.
We have on our plate, we have original versus remake.
Original versus remake.
And
Are we gonna watch that one?
Point Break is on that
We've
list.
already watched Point Break, haven't we?
Yeah, but we haven't done the remake.
Re-review? We're going to start
No.
doing re-reviews.
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
Because it never should have been made.
Because
Agreed.
Never should have been
it is
made.
an abomination.
Abomination.
There's a remake of Total Recall. You think that's been made? Should
Abomination.
have been made?
No.
Okay. That's the whole theme.
That's,
Anyway,
that's our whole review.
let's polish this up.
Never should have been made.
Silver
Over.
Bullet, final thoughts, give it a
Silver
rating.
Bullet. Jude.
He directs it at you.
I have more fun talking about these movies than
Do I need to
do.
pinch your nipple while you give your review?
God, you got alligator clips?
He just wants some human contact.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's that? Is that good?
God, I'm hard right
Here,
now.
wait. I'll get in that
Stop it.
arm crease.
Stop it.
It's smelly.
You know, we never did talk about the car chase though.
Oh, the car
Oh,
chase?
sorry. Well, yeah.
I don't know. What is there to talk? So they have like
It was
the
stupid.
weirdest.
He
stupidest
missed him
car-
like 4 times.
How do you miss a go-kart with a car, with a giant boat, you know, Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme or whatever the fuck it is, with this fucking sail
He's
kicking up the whole road.
driving the whole road, and he misses him 3 times.
And the funny part is later, like Gary Busey looks at the wheelchair and he's like, "Does that look like the preacher's car paint to you?"
Yeah. Oh, it's blue.
It's blue.
So what color paint does the preacher's car have? And she's like,
That
blue.
color.
That color blue.
I did like his sister. I mean,
alright.
his sister was like, was she the main character of the story?
She was the narrator.
She was the narrator. You know, I get it. She was, I don't know. Well, who is she? Did she ever go on and do anything else?
So she plays the mother in the TV show Reign, REIG.
Never heard of it.
Mary Queen of Scots. I think it's like a WB.
It's a CW show.
CW,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's why I've
Yeah,
never watched it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, final thoughts. Give it a
But
rating.
final thoughts. World's worst werewolf.
Okay.
World's worst werewolf. This thing.
Not that
This thing.
bad.
It's a rubber mask of bullshit. It's awful. You know, if I had to grade this thing, it's like if I had to grade the conversation we were having about it, I'd give it like a 4. But if I have to grade the movie on its own, it's like a 2.
I'm surprised it's that high.
You know, it's not a 1-star crap fest. It's Corey Haim's best work. What are you talking about? It's his first and best. You know, he gets to run around, you know, pretend like he's,
No, he doesn't.
you know, it's like he for a kid who can walk, he played a kid who couldn't really good.
Sure.
You think his performance is better than Lost Boys?
He's fucking climbing trees and shit, bro. What are you talking about?
Okay. It's his second best performance after Lost Boys.
Whatever.
How's that sound?
Sure.
Well, you don't think
2 stars?
He couldn't just like climb up the lattice with the ladder?
The kid did not have the upper body
He
strength
didn't
to
have
do
the
that.
upper body strength to do that?
No. He was in his 2nd floor room climbing through the fucking window. I'm like, no.
Oh my God, you're right.
No.
You're absolutely right. That kid cannot do that.
No.
It's like, but maybe he's like maybe his legs are all like atrophied and they're really small.
No, they weren't.
then-
Anyway, we're not talking about this. Give it 2 stars. All right, Jude, final thoughts. Give it a rating.
I had a great time this week.
Okay.
Thank you for humoring me and having a Stephen King week. I was very excited for this week. I love this movie, but I mean, it's everything that I want in a movie. It's 80s, it's horror, it's Stephen King. I don't give a shit that the werewolf looks stupid. All werewolves look stupid. I'm still on fucking board. Okay. I love it. This is like 3.5, borderline 4 stars, 4 werewolves out of 5 shitty werewolves.
Okay.
You know who I really liked? The dude from the bar, the troublemaker guy.
The peacemaker dude? Oh, no. Oh, yeah. The town troublemaker.
All right, you stupid cop. You don't know nothing, you fat tubby bastard. We're going to go out and
evil dies tonight.
Talking shit to the cops.
Oh, what did they call it? Personal justice? Private justice?
Private justice.
I keep going to my South Park analogies. He's the, they took our jobs. They took our jobs guy. You know, that dude. I mean, he's like, that's exactly who he is. Yeah, he just cracked me.
Yeah, we want a t-shirt that says personal justice or private justice.
I kept singing Private Dancer, Tina Turner.
With Peacemaker
I was like, my private justice.
Yeah, private justice with the Peacemaker bat.
Who picks a fight with the town sheriff?
That dude.
At the local town bar. It's like, I'm going to kick your ass, you fat fucking bastard.
It's like, then your tubby assistant behind you.
Yeah. It's just so funny to me. It's just
and it was funny. Tara Quinn's like, there's not going to be any vigilante justice on my watch. And they're like, it ain't vigilante justice. It's private justice.
They all got jackets the next day that said private justice on the back.
Nice.
But then like when that guy leads them out into like the fog, and everyone dies. Remember that thing where like the guy's wife was like, don't make lemonade in your pants, Earl.
I don't know. What's the matter, Bobby? You're gonna make lemonade in your pants?
Well, why is she out there? Freaking 60-year-old
lady. Badass, and she wants private justice too.
Oh Jesus! It was this posse they had was stupid. It was a stupid posse.
All right, Candace, final thoughts. Give it a rating.
All right, so out of the 3 Stephen King movies that we watched for this week, this was definitely my least favorite of the 3. I think we covered a lot of the issues where it was like a bad werewolf costume, even for like the 80s. They started without a finished script. Stephen King wrote this and he's not a good screenwriter. It was kind of all over the place. But it ended up being like an okay movie. Originally, they were trying to get John Candy to play the part of the uncle. So like
John Candy.
That would have been a comedy movie at that point.
Oh, that wouldn't have worked. That wouldn't have worked.
Well, I mean, Gary Busey was pretty comedic in it as well, and John Candy can do like serious stuff. But it would have been a very different movie with John Candy as the uncle. It would have been like Uncle Buck with werewolves.
I would watch Uncle Buck and drunk Uncle Busey in a movie together.
No, that's a buddy movie.
That's a buddy cop movie right there.
Busey,
hey Candy, give me 2.
2 bottles of wild turkey.
2 bottles of wild turkey.
I'm going to the liquor store. You want some wild turkey?
Yeah.
Hey, give me 2.
Yeah, but there were definitely some good moments to this movie, but mostly it was pretty ridiculous. But I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was like a terrible bad movie, and it was kind of fun seeing like the cast that they got for it. So I'm going to give it 2 solid rockets to the eye out of 5.
Okay.
I just had a really good idea. You know our Utah Get Me Too shirt?
Yeah.
I think that we need to change it to Gary Busey just saying "Get me 2," and each of his fingers is a bottle of wild turkey.
Just has a. Me too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna up my vote. I was gonna say 1.5 stars, but I'm gonna give it another half star for Gary Busey. This is a 2-star movie. I didn't hate it, but it's definitely not something I'm ever gonna watch again. It was not great. The werewolf wasn't scary, and Gary Busey is the only redeeming quality of this movie.
But I will say, like the little go-kart wheelchairs, that's like every 80s kid's dream.
Oh, yeah,
sure.
I could see that 100%.
I'd run around in that thing.
Crippled 80s kid.
I'd run around that thing even if I had legs.
Right.
Absolutely.
No
I mean, that's just what what go-karts are.
I mean, I had a little motorcycle that I drove around.
3-wheelers are not very safe. I would have made it 4, but
I had a 3-wheeler. I had a 4-wheeler. I had all that.
3-wheelers are prone to fall over. Mm-hmm. What's the kid gonna do if he falls off the freaking 3-wheeler?
I got a story for you.
Turtle on its back. It's terrible.
I got a 3-wheeler story. I'll tell you later. Those things are not safe.
Jude doesn't get to talk shit anymore today. All right.
That's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Well, it's that the Bell's palsy thing where you're like, shake my drink for me. I was like, holy shit. All right.
Forgot about that.
That was pretty bad too. All right.
I'm having a
We're going to
stroke.
polish this up. Oh, shit. That's it for Silver Bullet. Thanks for joining us. God damn. Vader, where can I find you on the socials?
I'm having a stroke.
Why did we let
I
him?
can't do it. You can find me at Matt Vader 74 on the socials.
We finally found Vader's limit.
Jude, do you want people to find you on the socials?
Probably not. You can find me at Matt Vader 74.
All right. Whatever.
There you go.
I'll pass on.
All right. Matthew Cadish.
Al knows where to find me.
He's on your OnlyFans.
Fuck you, Al.
He's sliding into my DMs like, you should wear this instead. I fucking love you, Al. Never stop. Never stop. You're doing God's work.
Where can they find you?
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter and Truth Social. And kadishbooks.com takes you to our Amazon page. And be sure to give us a 5-star rating if you're listening to us on iTunes. We need 200 of those suckers in order to get accredited as official movie reviewers for Rotten Tomatoes. So if you like our take on Silver Bullet,
Jesus.
help us get accredited.
I think we have people taking them away.
Maybe read the room, Kadish.
We promote that idea on like the worst episodes.
It's like I'm changing my 5 to a 2.
You want us to be real movie reviewers? Like, no.
We would fuck Rotten Tomatoes up.
Oh my
dude.
God.
It would be so fun.
There's like 53 reviews for a certain movie. It gets like 90%.
Like,
we get
you're
in there.
all wrong.
We're number 54. It's like 1-star crap fest. All right, guys, if you want to join us on our Discord app, go to saltynerdiscord.com. It's an open invite to everybody. It's a free and public server, and we love hanging out with people over there. We do watch parties on Monday night. So join the Discord server at saltynerdiscord.com. All right, everybody, stay salty. Thanks for watching. Tune in for, what's the next movie?
Firestarter.
Firestarter, Drew Barrymore. All right,
Oh, yay.
see you next time. Adios.